being former operators, everybody looks at the exit and the sale to Cisco, and I think there's a misconception out there that because you guys were such a huge success story, it wasn't without challenges along the way. So you mentioned early on, Mike, about that you guys learned through mistakes along the way, challenges. So I'd love to hear, what are some of the things that you guys learned that you're now providing to others that folks might not know about? Maybe some of the early challenges that you guys saw with Broadsoft, where the three of you came together, navigated through it, and any insights, stories you can share that with folks watching that might be needing help that you can give to them.
Trying to be very self-aware of where we were, kind of really not buying into the Kool-Aid, really thinking through what the next stage was. And look, at the heart of, every business is delivering value to the customers. I think we were always very focused on that. So one of the questions we really try to drive hard when we're talking to entrepreneurs, that we really understand the value. We escaped near death in 2008, like a lot of other people. Well, skill and luck, we were able to escape it, and we were actually able to take advantage of the downturns. One of the conversations we have a lot these days, and we did that in 2008 by buying two of our competitors. Basically, that allowed us to rebound and take the company public in 2010. And so that was a big. At the time, I'm not sure it felt that way. 2008 was a stressful, super time. I think Jim had the microscope on the bank account at all times. And so, but that's an example of how to kind of make sure you're always constantly reevaluating the situation.
I was going to say, one of the things that was so great about working with Mike and Scott, to Mike's point in terms of not believing our own headlines, but back to Mike's beginning, talking about helping companies scale. Mike and Scott are classic entrepreneurs where they're essentially never satisfied, but more importantly, always trying to think through several turns down the windy road ahead, and just not letting the company feel self-satisfied. And it's disruptive within a company to drive that, because companies tend towards, as they get more successful, that sense of self-satisfaction. And okay, in our case, we're Broadsoft, we're a big part of this industry. Whew, we did it. One of the things I think Mike and Scott, we as a team, is we really never took the foot off the accelerator. We never stopped thinking about 2 steps ahead. So even, we had a very successful software business, but, we broke lots of China, building from that SaaS business inside, in that category of learning from your mistakes. It was a brand new model doing wholesale SaaS. Some of it we anticipated, and a lot of it we learned, and some stuff we had to reverse, and I think that was a big part of being able to continue to push Broadsoft ultimately where we did in the industry.
Growing a business is hard. It's really hard. And there's when companies bring you in, it's for a reason. So, even the most successful businesses have their challenges along the way. So I'd love to get your perspective, Scott, as the technology leader there, some of the challenges that you saw from your perspective.
It's always harder and it takes longer than you think. So I give that advice a lot. I think oftentimes people think they can do something really fast and get things done a lot easier, when the reality is it's hard to get things done. I'll reiterate what Jim said. I think you got to think a few steps ahead. You always have to never be satisfied with where you're at and looking forward. Our industry changes quite rapidly. And then also, I think, you have to listen to your customers. You don't necessarily have to do everything they ask you to do, but I think you need to be out there listening and understanding what their problems are. And making sure, you're not necessarily doing what they're telling you, but you're addressing the pain points and the challenges that they have. And I think it's one thing all three of us did a really good job at is making sure, we could put ourselves in the shoes of our customers and understand their business and what the challenges were and what success really meant for them.
Yeah, I can say as a customer, you guys were always wanting to listen to us. Make sure that we were not just happy, but that we were moving in a direction that was fundamentally changing in industry, really. Because when you guys made moves, they were leadership moves. They were allowing us as service providers to succeed because you listened to us.